All right, JP, thank you.
Well, have you ever been told to mind your own business?
Well, that saying takes on a whole different meaning this morning. I promise you that. And you've never been told that, I'm sure. Tim Knox joins us this morning to tell us how you can mind your business, how if you want to start a small business, you make a success out of it.
I can do that.
Good morning to you, Tim.
Good morning. How are you two?
Just fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just avoiding the rain and trying to stay dry.
Yes,
Make some money in business.
Well, we've gotten several emails. People want to have answers from the expert here. We're going to get started now with Joan Randall of Huntsville, who asks, do I need a website for my business? This is the day everything is online. We all use the internet on a daily basis.
Yep. You have answered the question. The answer is yes. You know, a website is like a business card 10, 20, 30 years ago. If you don't have one, you're going to be losing the opportunity to make contact.
Okay.
You know, with websites, it really doesn't matter how big your business is, how small, what your product or service is. You should have a website if it's nothing more than a simple contact sheet where you can direct people for more information. And you hit the nail on the head. You know, back in the old days, people would look in the paper or they would look in the yellow pages for information. Now everyone's going to the internet. And if you don't have a website there, Joan, you're going to be missing customers.
All right, well, Joan.
This next question I think a lot of people would like answered from Alicia Higgins of Huntsville. Do you have any suggestions on where to apply for the best small business loan?
That's a good question.
Everybody's looking for money to start their business, aren't they? Yeah, there's several ways you can go about it. It depends on if you're starting a new business or you're buying an existing business. And we talked a little bit about starting a new business a couple of weeks ago. You know, it's hard to borrow money to start something new because it's unproven. You know, you're going to need to have, you know, family and friends, which, you know, I'm not a big fan of, but it is an option. You can use the equity in your home. But if you're going to go the traditional funding route, you can go to a bank, you can go to the Small Business Administration. It's easier if you're buying an existing building or a business because you're going to have things like a building, like assets, like inventory.
Okay.
So always start small. I'm a big fan of bootstrapping. Do not borrow money unless you absolutely need it. Because remember,
Say that again.
do not borrow money unless you absolutely need it because you have to pay it back.
With interest?
With interest, that's the catch. So try to bootstrap it, but you can go to the SBA, you can try your bank. There are other, like here in Huntsville, we have the Women's Business Center of North Alabama, which is great for helping you create a business plan, create a loan package. They can even help you get funding through the SBA.
Excellent advice there. And you're right, with those loans, you have to pay them back. And
you know, that actually goes, that's across the board, not just in business. Don't borrow it if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, whether or not the business is successful, you still have to repay that money.
Well, that's true, and that's one reason why I'm not a big fan of borrowing money from family members, because if you borrow money from your dad and then the business goes under, you still owe Dad that money.
And you can't go to Thanksgiving dinner anymore. Okay.
Because he's thinking about that.
Yeah.
Tim, we never have enough time when you're here. Thanks so much for coming with us. And remember, if you have a question for Tim on how to mind your own business, just log on to WHNT.com and ask away.
And we'll get those answers for you. We'll get them from him. All right, we're back in 2 minutes.
JP updates us on the weather. Stay with us.